is kind of like a little workshop that I run. I've just picked some slides here. There are 3 components. There's voice, the physical presence of your voice, and the technique, how to project, how to breathe, and how to stand, your posture, your body and your gestures that empower your voice. So if your body's really frozen and you're really kind of jaw is tight and my tongue is really curled up, my voice is not going to come out properly. It's going to sound strange. It's like something's going on, and people read the non-verbals of what we say. So let's be aware of our voice and our presence. Then we've got our mindset. How are we thinking? Who are we being? Who's our audience? What do we want to be for them? How do we become flexible? How do we value others? In fact, our voice is for others. I often say that. It's not even for me. Sure, I feel good in my business, but what's the point if other people don't receive your business? You see? So if our voice is not impacting an audience, and there was an event that I ran a couple of weeks ago that didn't work out because I probably underestimated the group. And what I mean by that is they wanted more technical things, and I was going around the aspects of, say, the mindset of speaking, and they didn't want to go there because they didn't want to be vulnerable. So that was something I underestimated in that group because of that industry. So my voice needs to be for others. So it's really important we understand the mindset of how we speak and what's suitable to our audience. And the other one is, how are we engaging? So that's your message too. How are we engaging, and are you interesting, or are you monotone and boring and speaking like a legal document? I have a podcast out there now called, you can check it out on Spotify or Apple and YouTube channel, where I did a short talk, only 3-4 minute talks, so very short talks with my clients. I just record them. And one of them was, don't speak like a legal document, meaning speak more like a blog, meaning headings, subheadings, pauses, spaces. Don't speak like a big legal document where there's no breaks and it gets boring for people, because you know what, your speaking is like a song and it needs to be felt by others. Okay, so there's these 5 components in voice. These are the technical aspects. Breathing. So let's just check our breathing. One of the things is, if you just want to sit up straight, let's do some physicality here. Really important, the breath is deep in your belly, right? Just wear the belly button in, that you inhale and then exhale. So your hand moves out and in, out and in, not up and down, okay? We're not going up and down, we're just going out horizontally. So when I inhale, it's like a paper bag. It expands and then it retracts and expands and it retracts, and we're going deep into the hip area. So that's something to practice. So it's just out and in. And one of the ways you can also practice this is lying on the floor and putting some books on your belly button and lifting the books with the breath as you inhale and down. If you remember Jamie Redfern from many, many years ago, back in the early 80s, that's the first thing he did for me. Put me on stage and he put a telephone book. Remember the old telephone books? On my stomach, and I had to raise the book up and down. The other one is vocal folds, vocal cords. That's a traditional name, but now they're called vocal folds. They close like this, and they're very, very small, about 8 millimeters long, and male ones are about 11 millimeters. Don't quote me on the actual size, but the point is they're a little bit longer for males. So they just close and they fold in like this. The stronger they press, the louder my voice, right? The stronger they press, the louder my voice. Now, they stretch. So they stretch and thin out when I go high. And they shorten their thinking as they go, as I speak deeper. Now, what am I talking about, lower and deeper? This is chest voice. It's just terms we use. So everybody can practice that. You're all on mute anyway. So you put your hand on your chest and you can feel that vibration of that chest voice. Harder for women, by the way. All right. It's quite strong. It's that masculine, deeper voice that allows you to get paid more money, because the research says that when we have deeper voices, we get paid more money. But if we kind of walk around like this, which is like a head voice, then it sounds not appropriate, particularly in business. And you'll hear that video from Margaret Thatcher where she changed her voice, the before and after voice of Margaret Thatcher when she stepped into leadership. Of course, she was surrounded by a lot of male figures at that time. But it's a wonderful video to see that contrast. So this is now called head voice. So my vocal folds are really stretched out and thinned out. Back here. If you can't find the head voice, particularly for the male voices, just do woof, 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 woof. It's important to find these pitches because our voice is more balanced. It's like an amplifier, a PA system, right? You actually have to balance the highs, the lows, and the medium pitches to be more projected because it helps your projection, as well as it gives you variety in your expression so you don't sound like that legal document with that fine print that nobody wants to read because it's monotonous, right? So one of the exercises to do for these vocal folds is to literally just get a straw. This is a really good system. I could talk more about it another time, but it's called, this acts like your mouth, and it's called the voice straw. And it comes from Brisbane, actually. The lady invented it from Brisbane, although it's very scientifically proven. There's a lot of research on this, and it's a straw, different size straws. A very thin one would be different to a thicker one. And this acts like your mouth, and this acts like your actual windpipe, right? So it's like, my whole warm-ups, my songs, everything was done in here, and it actually helped my voice. So for now, even if you have a straw, you could have it by your desk, and you would make this sound and with a W and an oo, and you would go so I'm really stretching the vocal folds out and back in, out and back in. So it's like getting mobility on my arm, making sure I can use my whole arm rotation. So no, don't get RSI and it's just stuck like this, like I'm talking 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 all the time. But I'm doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 9, 4, 3, 2, 1. So a simple straw and blowing in it. Great exercise to create variation, and our words have more meaning when we can inflect on them. I can go up and I can go down. Like, how are you today? Great. Well, no, I can't come. No way. I'm not going to be there. You see, so I'm using my voice to communicate meaning in my message. So that's a great warm up. The other one is this one. You literally put your hands on your face like this. Try it out. And we're going to do flappy lips, drop your shoulders. I think, Karen, I could just see your shoulders go up a bit. So make sure your shoulders are down. Your breath is deep in your belly, and you're literally warming up your voice. It's just a lip trill. That relaxes your face, your jaw. Tongue sits behind your bottom teeth. If you can't do that one, it takes a little while. You've got to blow a lot of air to get that out. Some of you might be singers here. I haven't even asked. So these are just some basic warm-ups, particularly for those in businesses, corporate people who aren't always as expressive, I find, because the culture itself tends to keep you very within a cocoon kind of. That's what I've noticed. People speak a particular way. And we want that expression to come out a little bit. It's a little bit more risky and a little bit more vulnerable, but it's more interesting. So that's one exercise, or a tongue trill. Again, I'm going low, chest, medium, and high. A lot of talks on this on my channel, YouTube channel, and my podcast, where I literally take people through these exercises, very short chats. Vowels are important. The pronunciation of the movement of the syllables in the words. Like if I say the word impossibility, I don't say impossibility, impossibility. And if you have an accent, that's even harder to understand. So important to pronounce every syllable, the consonant and the vowel of every syllable. So impossibility, you know, really attempting to articulate, moving the tongue, the jaw on every word, paying attention to those syllables. Now, it doesn't mean you're going to go impossibility. No, you'll say impossibility. However, I'm focused on every syllable. So moving that tongue and that jaw. So some of the exercises there is literally to massage that side of your face and move your tongue and do all these, screw up your face a little bit in front of the mirror, you know, just let's move some of these muscles, because all of these muscles in our face help our voice become alive. And the expressions actually empower the voice. Otherwise, it sounds lifeless, really. And vocal tonality is the choice you have. The tone is a habit that we have. We copy it from others, from our industries, from our influences. We do copy our voice tone without realizing, it becomes a habit. However, it's also a choice, and we don't realize that we have a choice if you have the flexibility. But if you don't have the flexibility, then your menu is impoverished. You don't have the choices on your menu. That's why we do warm ups, like a little straw by your desk. A nice deep breath, awareness of maybe using more emotions, being aware of those nerves when they kick in, and how to regulate your nervous system with meditation or mindfulness, you know, becoming the blank wall, as opposed to getting caught up in our story of our lives, you know. And I find having some of those techniques, that's why I specialize in, I also do mindfulness and meditation just to relax my system. Sometimes I just don't get caught up so much. Learn how to be that, you know, who do I need to be today? So choice of voice tone will help when you have the technique, the flexibility in your voice, and also that mindset to be mindful of it. Body posture is really important. If you're slumping over, it's not going to be helpful because your voice can't come out. The breath is inhibited, like it's not flowing. Sitting up straight or standing up, posture, shoulders back. Go see an osteo or a physio every now and then, making sure that your skeleton, your body is, your muscles are right, because it does affect the way you speak. There's so much more I could share, Karina, but how are we going with time?
Let's wrap up.
Yes. All right. I'm going to wrap up. So with your voice, remember, it is the organ of the soul. So it's, the soul is a deep word, but it can mean a lot of things. It can mean your heart, your center of your message. And when we speak with our whole bodies, right? We feel it, our breath is our fuel. It doesn't matter how sophisticated your vehicle is. If you don't have fuel, it won't go. So remember to really feel your whole body and your emotions in what you do. And if you can't, then seek help, because there's so much more to your voice than just words.
Maria currently has on. This is an introductory course that can lead to the other courses. If you do this course first and then you want to upgrade, you can get a discount on the second course.